how to increase your writing score. Now, if you look at some of the really good essays, the Band 9s, the Band 8s, the Band 7s, you'll find that they've got something in common, okay? And this will probably be that they are hedged, okay? And hedging is a very useful technique and a very useful style, kind of, or strategy to implement into your essay writing. Okay, the three advantages of hedging are: one, it makes your essay sound more academic; two, it increases the amount of words you use, and this isn't always recommendable, but some students have problems reaching 250 words. So using this strategy, you're going to increase the amount of words, and it's going to get you nearer to the 250 word limit. And then the final advantage is that, or the third advantage, is that it increases the amount of grammar structures you're using. So it's showing the examiner that you know more, okay? Now, what it is basically, hedging comes from an old saying back in the UK, and it basically means to enclose, okay? To enclose, and from an expression called hedge your bets, okay? To limit, because a hedge is a small type of tree that's used to mark a certain area, and the expression is hedge your bets, and it basically means to enclose and put limits on your bets. And in a writing sense, what it means is avoiding making massive sweeping generalizations. Now, you might think, hey, I've never made a generalization in my life, right? But you probably have if you go back and look at some of your essays. And the way you can identify it, all right, is by if you're using words like everywhere, all the time, always. By using these words, or these tenses even, you are assuming that it's like 100% certain all the time, okay? I'll give you an example. So if I were to write, let's see, upon graduating, all students have extreme difficulty finding employment, okay? I've said all students, and in just one sweeping sentence like that, I've basically said all students in the world, right, because I used all, will have difficulty finding employment, okay? And that's not accurate, okay? That's not accurate at all. It might be accurate from where I'm from, it might be accurate from my city, okay? All the students in Manchester have difficulty, blah, blah, blah. But I didn't say in Manchester, I just said all students. So I just basically assumed all the students in the world, which is obviously wrong, and it's not accurate. So how do we avoid this? Well, we could say practically all students, and what we're doing by saying practically is we're hedging it, we're putting it within a certain limit, and now it's acceptable. If I say practically all, okay, then it sounds more realistic, okay? Now, we've also used a different grammar structure and picked up points, and we've used a little bit of one extra word, which helps us get towards that word limit, if that's a problem that we have, okay? Now, another way to identify the hedge, or to identify a lack of hedging, okay, if I say something like, I don't know, all American consumers will, American consumers will shop in shopping centres if they are near their houses. Just a random sentence, okay? I've used will, and this is exactly the same as using all. It's like will, 100% certain, okay? American consumers will shop at shopping centres if they are nearby, something like that, okay? Will. No, I should say will most likely shop at shopping centres if they are nearby, most likely, okay? Or will often shop at shopping centres if they are nearby, Okay, and we've just basically put an adverb of frequency in there, and it makes it sound more believable. Because if I just said American consumers will shop, it's almost like an order. It's almost like an order. It's very strong. So I say will most likely, or will often, or will probably, then or will usually. I'm just hedging it. Okay. So if you want to make your essay sound more academic, you need to go through and just identify and get into the habit of recognizing where you've made a massive generalization, a massive assumption. And it might not seem like a massive one, but just by not paying attention to the tense or to the sentence structure or the words you've used, you can fall into the trap of making a big assumption. Okay? And getting rid of these assumptions and hedging your essay makes it sound a million times more academic and, of course, more accurate. Now, if you want to take this to the next level, which I recommend you do, click on the link below and you'll find an exercise where you can basically go through the essay. It's badly written and you can identify the lack of hedging or what sentences need to be hedged and transformed, and you'll also see it in more detail, okay? Because it's not that easy to give examples off the top of your head like I'm doing now. And you'll see a few more examples that'll be more detailed, and it'll also help you just learn the lesson a little bit deeper, which is what we want really, so you can get into the habit. Okay, remember to sign up as well while you're there. Why not? Get some free tips, eh? All the best.